Hi there, how are you? It's so great to see you and thank you for coming. I'm really looking forward to today's session. Teaching people about how to build a belief stack is one of my most favorite things because if you can really train yourself to think new thoughts about things, then really anything is possible and you'll be able to really build for yourself something great. And so I'm going to go through the 5 steps to build a belief stack. And so let's go right from the get go. So, 5 steps to build a belief stack. I'm going to take now, do have a PDF of this. So it literally takes you through the 5 steps. There are places on there that you can write your information and you can literally go through step by step through the PDF. So if you'd like to grab that, if you just go to stacey.live and then belief stack, you can get access to that PDF there. And so before we really start having a look at how to build a belief stack, basically the first thing we need to do is really get clear on these first 3 concepts that I want to go through with you. So the first one is that our thoughts create our feelings. Now, this is sometimes a new concept to people. Some people are like, yeah, I always knew that. But what we quite often think is that our circumstances are what creates our feelings. And this just isn't the case. And so everything that happens in life really is a neutral thing that happens. And then we have thoughts about it. And this is not how we've been brought up. This isn't how we really kind of know the world to work. We think that when we don't get the job, that's what causes us to be upset. And so what I really want to introduce to you is that our feelings are not created by our circumstances. And this also includes people. I know quite often we feel like we're at the effect of other people, what other people say, what other people do. And this is really where we can take on things. And a lot of people talk about, oh, I don't have self-confidence or I don't feel confident in myself because when I was a child, so-and-so said this. Or people have commented about this in my life and therefore I don't have confidence or I don't feel confident about things. And this is really great news because when we know that actually other people, what they say and do can't have us feel a certain way, then we can really create how we want to think about ourselves and believe anything we want, which is actually quite amazing. And so how it really works is something happens in life and then we have a thought about it. And then it's in that thought that we have, and then our thoughts really generate the feelings that we have. And so this is the first thing, really, if we're wanting to build a belief stack, knowing that we have absolute and complete control over our thoughts about things. And then also knowing that what we're after is a feeling. And so we really think, oh, I want to achieve this goal because, well, I want to have this amount of money in the bank, or I want to have a successful business, or I want to have whatever range of things that is. But really what we're after is a feeling, how we think we're going to feel when we achieve that goal. That's the thing that actually drives us. So if you look a little bit deeper, like why is it do you want to have a successful business? How do you think that you will feel when you have that successful business? And it might be that you feel proud or accomplished or that you've made it or whatever number of those things are that you then start to feel, because this is what we're after, this feeling. We want to get healthy because we think we're going to feel a certain way. And then the other thing is we have it that we want to achieve this goal because of how we're going to feel. When we get there, we're going to feel really great about this. We're going to feel like everything will be perfect. When I have that successful job, everything will be amazing. When I achieve this, then life will be super fantastic. But actually, life is 50-50. And it doesn't matter if we have achieved our goals or not, life is 50-50. It's just that the 50-50 that we have later isn't necessarily the same 50-50 that we have now. But when you have that hugely successful business, 50% of your life is also going to be thoughts that maybe you perceive as negative or aren't so great, or experiences in life and how that goes. And so this is another thing. We sometimes get in a rush to get where we're going because we think over there is better. And so now we know that our thoughts create our feelings, and it's not better over there than here. And what we're really after is a feeling. Then we can start to have a look at how we're going to build that belief stack. And so the first thing we want to do is choose a goal. Choose that goal that we'd like to achieve. And it's better when you're going through this just to focus on one particular goal that you have. It might be to build your email list. It might be to get more clients. It might be to go to more networking events. Whatever it is, a goal that you have that you want to achieve, I want you to think about that goal. And like I said, if you grab the belief stack guide, it's going to take you through each of these steps, and you can write them all down and go through them. So choose the goal that you'd like to achieve. Then once you have the goal, I want you to write down all the reasons why you haven't achieved this goal yet. Why don't you have this goal in your life? And I want you to take a bit of time and really write these out. Like pause the video and write down all the reasons why you haven't achieved what it is that you want to achieve yet. And then what I want you to notice about that is that actually what happens is we come up with two different things. We can then divide them off into two different sections. And one of those sections is our thoughts about it. So we have thoughts about why we can't achieve our goal. And then we also, it's just reasons or circumstances, like I don't have enough time, or I have 4 children, or things that we perceive as things that have us that stop us from achieving our goals. And so you list them all down. And then what you'll start to see is actually the results that you have in life are direct correlation to the current thoughts that you have. And so the way that we then create new results in our lives is we start to have new thoughts about them. And even those things that we have as circumstances, like the number of children that you have, or the amount of time that you have to devote to your business, all of those are circumstances. And as we looked at right at the beginning, that our circumstances actually are neutral, and then we have a thought about them. It's our thought about the amount of time that we have that holds us back. It's our thought about how much of our life is taken up, like taking the kids to sporting events or whatever. It's our thought about that actually gives us our experience of it. And so creating new thoughts, having new thoughts is going to really give us our new results in life. And so then you want to start to think about what actually are the thoughts I want to have about my goal. Do I want to have thoughts like it's really easy to build my email list? People are eager to sign up with me to learn about the information that I have. Like, what is it that you want to think about the goal that you have? And so I've got an example here that we can look at. And so we're looking at, our goal is to sell our course. Now, our current thoughts about that are like, what if no one buys? I'm charging too much. If I charge less, then more people will buy. We can have that as a thought that's holding us back. More people will buy if I offer a discount. So then we start lowering our prices because we think actually this might be the thing that has people purchase. Or it would be better if I had more people on my list. My business would be more successful if I had more people on my list. Or I should wait and do this next month. This month isn't the best time to do it. Oh, there's Thanksgiving or whatever it is that's going on that might have people not want to be paying attention. And then you can then move into the thoughts that you want to have. So I'm an expert and I know what I'm talking about. My courses change people's lives. I know exactly what I'm doing. People can't wait to work with me. So these are the thoughts that we'd like to have. Now, sometimes when we're looking at why we don't have the result that we want to have in life, we ask ourselves a question like, what is wrong with me? Or what if this doesn't happen? What if I fail? And so what I want you to do with those questions that you're asking yourself is actually answer them. So if you're saying like, well, what if no one buys? The thought behind that really is that no one will buy and then I'll be a failure. And so when you have these question thoughts, who am I to teach this? really, like, what is the actual thought that goes with that question? And so that's what you want to do. So you've got the current thoughts that you're having, and then you're starting to look at what are the thoughts that I really want to have about it. And then what you do then is you start to build a belief stack. And so basically, a belief stack is a set of thoughts that helps us move from the thoughts we're currently having to the thoughts we need to have to achieve our goals. And basically, we stack our thoughts on top of each other, which really then strengthens our belief about us being able to achieve the goal, which has a direct correlation to the actions that we take. And of course, when we're taking the actions consistent with the goal that we want to achieve, then ultimately we're going to achieve that goal. And so this is where a belief stack comes in, because what happens is we can't always jump and from like one of the thoughts. If we go back and have a look here, it's really hard to jump from I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't know if anybody will listen to me, to I'm an expert and I know what I'm talking about. And so like our brain can't make that much of a leap from basically the opposite thought. So this is where we build on the thoughts with the things that we're having. And so this is how I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. So if I have a current thought, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then the new thought that you really want to have about is you're building your course is I'm an expert. I'm an expert in my field. I know what I'm doing. And so then basically from your current thought, you come up with little thoughts, and they're like little steps that you go up in your belief to have the ultimate belief. And so then you start to look at little thoughts in between. So I have knowledge in the area I'm teaching. So this is a thought that moves us from I don't know what I'm talking about closer to I'm an expert. Or it might be that I can help people with what I know. And so this moves us closer. And so we start building and building these beliefs that we have. And then ultimately you really start to believe that thought for yourself. And like I said, you have to believe the thought for the actions to be consistent with it. Because if I have the thought, I'm an expert, but I don't believe it, then it doesn't give me an emotion of motivation or excitement or determination to actually do the actions to achieve my goal. It might make me feel overwhelmed or embarrassed or something like that. So then I'm not going to take the actions consistent with it. So you really want to be doing those and looking at the little stepping thoughts on the way. And this is the pure magic of the building a belief stack. Because when our brain goes a little bit crazy, even when we try and hold two new thoughts that are kind of inconsistent with each other. So we have, and this is where the belief stack makes a massive difference in that. Because instead of trying to get our brain to do this massive leap from one thing to another, we actually have it take these little steps, and it's a lot more comfortable for it. And so once then you've decided on some of those belief stack thoughts that you want to keep have in your life, then you need to keep it alive, because 100% guaranteed your brain is going to forget your new thought. Now, your brain just really loves to be efficient. And one way to be really efficient is to have the thoughts that you've always had, because our brain knows that actually thinking that way has got us to the point we're at now and we haven't died. And so our brain thinks this is a great thing. And then when we start to think new thoughts, it's harder for our brain to think them because they're new. And so I'm 100% guaranteed your brain will try to forget your thought. Even if it doesn't try to, it will just forget the thought that you had. And so basically you need to make sure that you're consistently keeping these new thoughts alive for you. So you want to write your new thoughts. You want to put them all over your house, stick them in the bathroom, stick them on your phone, in your wallet, everywhere, that every time you look, like you get reminded of this new way of thinking. I want you to start to be an observer of your thoughts, because like I said, those old thoughts are definitely going to come back in. And you want to just be aware of them. It doesn't matter if you still think the old thoughts, but what you want to start to do is we want to believe those thoughts less. And so don't start judging yourself like, oh, I'm trying to think these new things, but I keep thinking the old thoughts. There is a process involved in moving from one place to the other, because like I said, your brain really isn't used to it. So just start to be an observer of your thoughts. Oh, there's that old thought again. And that's literally all you need to do. You don't need to engage in it. You don't need to be annoyed that you're thinking it. It's literally, oh, yeah, there it is. It's like popped into my brain again. And take some time every day just to consciously think about your thought and think about like what having that thought is going to do for you in your life, and really get present to actually what is possible for me if I start really believing this new thought. And then I teach my clients about being a thought thief. And basically, it's if you hear other people having great thoughts about things, then you just borrow those thoughts for yourself. Now, I've definitely done this in some of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. This is a practice that we have, that actually we share thoughts that are working for us, because quite often we look at the thoughts that aren't working, like the ones that we'd perceive as negative thoughts. But we want to start to spend this time having a look at these positive thoughts as well. And so if you hear someone say something really great, then you can take that thought on. You can have the thought like, I'm taking consistent action in my business every day to achieve my results. Other people love working with me. I offer great value to the world. There are clients out there ready to work with me today. So you can start to take on these thoughts. Just keep hold of the thoughts that you hear that you really, really love. I actually will put a link because I have a PDF that goes through 63 new thoughts for your business. I'll add that here for you as well. And so be a thought thief. Take people's other positive thoughts and take them on as your own. And then also, I want you to start to look for evidence to back up the new thought that you're having. So if I'm having a new thought, I give value, then every time you do something that's giving value, I want you to deliberately let your brain know about it. And so that's because we automatically look for evidence. So you'll know for yourself if you have an opinion about someone or a thought about something, that you easily gather evidence that really backs up your opinion about whatever that thought is. Like if there's a person that does something that's annoying, every single time you'll notice it. And so this is what we want to start doing with your thoughts, is deliberately noticing all the times that you're doing something consistent with it. It could be that every day I take steps to create my email list or build my email list. And then whenever that happens, oh, I've taken this action. That action is consistent with that thought, then that's more evidence for you. So these are a great way to be able to keep that belief stack alive for you. And then if you want to grab the guide, you can easily do that here, just at stacey.live/belief stack. And it will take you through all of the things that we did today. And there are some other examples and things in there also. And so I really want to let you know, if you have any questions or you want to know anything more about it, please leave them in the comments and I will come back and talk to you about it. And thank you so much for your time and attention. And I hope you have a truly wonderful day, and I will speak to you again next week.